We're going to get started now. Sorry about that. We were having problems with the links not working and not recording and all of that. Just a few things. If you need to go to the bathroom or something, just please go in between speakers so that you don't just disturb them. Also, just keep your phones off. Be respectful. If you want to speak, we have the links here on either side. We would love for you to speak, especially first years, because we need more of you, as well as second years for the graduation edition. Let's see, there's also going to be a Ask Me Anything, Growing Up Black and Latina, on Tuesday from 11:45 to 12:45 in E52-164, if you're interested in that. I think those are all the announcements that I had. Okay, so our first speaker is Josh Lipman, and he's from Iowa City. He's an MBA 2017. And his fun fact is that he legally changed his middle name, but he's not telling you from what to what, so maybe later.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So you may know me around campus as the one MBA student out of all 800 of us that wears kippah, this external sign of Orthodox Judaism. But what you may not know is that I actually never wore it in public before coming to Sloan. I grew up born on the East Coast in Connecticut, then New Jersey for a little bit, and at a young age of 8, I moved to Iowa City, Iowa. It was a bit of a culture shock. I remember there were a lot of things that we did differently from the other kids, like I said soda and they said pop, a lot of small things, but my story is one of not wanting to stick out, just wanting to fit in with everyone else. So when I was in Iowa, I really wanted to be like everyone else. My high school was pretty into sports, and our colors were green and gold. So people on game day would maybe wear something green, but our arch rival was red and white. And I told myself, I'm not wearing anything that's red, because I want to fit in, and I wore almost every day only green and gold to school. My sister, my younger sister, who's here, she's freshman top. My younger sister later went on to, when she was in high school, go shopping with my mom and picked out something that was red. And my mom said, "No, Molly, you can't wear that. You're in high school now. People don't wear red." And Molly told her, "No, Mom, it's just Josh. everyone else wears normal clothes." But I really, really wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be different. And it was tough. I remember when I graduated high school, they took a picture of all the kids that were there from kindergarten to senior year of high school, and I wasn't in it because I came in third grade. So when I went to Penn, I came to college on the East Coast, and I was so excited. I'm joining my roots, back to my people, with my East Coast people. It's going to be a homecoming of sorts, just to find out that at Penn, I was the kid from Iowa. And it was tough. I hated it. There was this big sign on my door with your hometown, and it was Iowa City, Iowa, and I just wanted to scratch it out every day. I remember I had a statistics professor. I was talking to him in office hours once, and he said, "Wow, what's it like, living in a big city now? You have to adjust." I wanted to punch him in the face. I'm not different. This is what I was supposed to be doing. I'm like everyone else. And this theme kind of continued throughout a lot of my life. In college, I went to study abroad in Spain. I studied abroad in Madrid, and I picked the Spanish name of Santiago. That was my Spanish name. Everyone only knew me as Santiago. I refused to let anyone call me a different name. In fact, my host mother once got a letter addressed to Josh Lipman. She asked me, "Oh, is this your brother? Your brother, Josh Lipman?" Because I really didn't want to be different than anyone else. And I think this was part of the motivation for when I came to Israel for the first time in my senior year of college. I'd grown up normal Jewish childhood, not particularly religious. We were Jewish, but didn't do anything out of the normal American Jewish family. And I didn't wear a kippah. I didn't necessarily follow any strict particular diet. But when I came to Israel, I saw there was, a substantial minority of people in Israel who wore this kippah. And I thought, this is a community that maybe I can be a part of. Everyone could be the same. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I put on the kippah and I started wearing it. And in Haifa, a city in the north, I was volunteering at an ambulance station. There were a lot of young volunteers, and one woman, young woman, her name was Hila Cohen, was in charge of all the volunteers. She was a big, strong Moroccan woman. She was religious. Everyone was assigned uniform pants, and she took the pants and re-sewed them into a skirt. Hello? And she re-sewed them into a skirt because religious women don't wear pants, and she made it into a skirt. She would... Is this cutting in and out? It's just me. So she would wear this skirt, and she barked orders all day long. Everyone was terrified of her. She smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. And one time, she came over to me and she said, Josh, do you want to come spend Shabbat, the Jewish Sabbath, with her and her family? And I was too scared to say no. I said, okay. And I went. It was the most beautiful experience. Her father took me to synagogue. He knew everyone. Everyone knew him. It was a really great experience. We came back. All the neighborhood kids came around the Shabbat, the Sabbath dinner table. It was a great communal experience. And I remember I went to bed that night. I woke up and I walked downstairs and I saw Hila sleeping on the couch. And I realized that Hila, this woman that everyone was terrified at the ambulance station, had given me her bedroom to sleep in. It really made an impression. It was something that made me realize that this is more than just a community. This is something that represents values that I can agree on and feel like I want to be a part of. Now, this is the big question everyone wants to know. People ask me, how did you decide to become religious? What was the big revelation? And the truth is, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. This was part of it. I mean, the experience at Hila's house sparked a fire, but it wasn't just that makes you change your whole life. I struggled with it for a year after that. I would ask everyone I know, does God exist? Is this Bible really what God said? Would He say all these things in these words? Do we have to follow it? And I never really came to an answer. I don't think it's something you can logic in or out of. It's just something that I felt was right and I made a leap of faith into. And I feel good about it. I do think it's right, but I'm not positive. And in any case, that started a period that has been the last 6 years of me becoming more religious. One part of that becoming more religious is a very observable external identifier, which is this kippah. And I struggled with it. The first few years, I didn't wear it. I was talking with a friend of mine who's Sikh, and he said, Josh, he wears a turban, a big red turban. And he said, Josh, I wear this turban. You're thinking about wearing kippah? He said, my turban people can see from across the street. You're tall. Most people can't even see it on you anyway. He said, even if they do see it on you, when people see my turban, they assume I'm a terrorist, which is wrong for all kinds of reasons. But he said, if people saw your kippah and realized what you were wearing, they'd probably just think, okay, maybe you're smart or rich or... He's like, how can I wear this and you don't wear that? And I didn't start wearing kippah then. It took a few more years. But eventually I came to Sloan and I decided I want to start wearing kippah full time. I remember I was walking in the Miami airport about to meet up with the Panama Sea function, and I was going back and forth. Do I wear it? This is my last chance. I can take it off. But I didn't. I kept it on. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. For a few reasons. The first reason, I remember 2 months into core, I saw Paul Choi. We were in the same ocean, and I asked him, Paul, do you know what classroom we're going to next? And he looked at me and said, you're in my ocean? I couldn't be happier. I was thrilled. I thought the first day, of course, he knew, everyone in my ocean knew, that Jewish guy's in my section. The fact that someone didn't know I was in the section 2 months in was amazing. So I realized the first important lesson, which is we think about ourselves a lot more than other people think about us. That being said, some people do notice. In fact, few people over the course of so long have asked me, have told me, Josh, do you speak really good English? Like, where are you from? From Iowa, where are you from? But more than just the self-awareness, I realized that sometimes being different can make you more a part of a community, not less. At Sloan, it's meant making Shabbat dinner at an Iceland trip in our first year over SIP. It's bringing a group of people in China Lab to a kosher restaurant in Shanghai. Doing the same thing in Thailand. Countless Shabbat dinners and other experiences I've hosted and had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you throughout the 2 years I've been here. And I realized that diversity is community. Contrary to popular belief, we think that a community is made up of like-minded, similar individuals. But is that really true? What would a soccer team be if everyone played forward, or everyone played goalie? What would an orchestra be if there was only violins? What would business be if everyone worked in HR, or no one worked in HR? What would an MBA class be if everyone came from analysis group? As an example. But the truth is that this diversity has made me more of a part of this community than I would have ever expected. I have to thank everyone in the Sloan community for being very accepting. But I think it's an important lesson. Look, I got a B in comm my first semester, which Aaron Berry reminds me it's hard to do because 60% of people get A's and only 50% of people are native English speakers. So I don't have any 3 bullet point lesson, but I realized that being different is okay. We should embrace it. Embracing it can sometimes draw us closer to others. And sticking out is sometimes the best way we can be part of a community. Because in the end, what makes you different is what makes you, you. Thank you.